Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Prem Talk. A very interesting weekend of Premier League football, which saw a lot of the, I say, top six sides drop points, which included a lot for Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham drop points. Would you class them as a top six? Obviously, Liverpool and Brentford drew in a 3-3 game. I didn't personally watch the game, but I heard a lot about it. Manchester City did beat Chelsea, and obviously Arsenal, trying to sneak their way back into the top half of the table, managed.
They celebrated that win. They celebrated that win like they won the league. The way they were crowding around Aubameyang's car, as if he just won them the league in the last minute of the game.
Oh man, your laugh set me off, man. I tried to keep a straight face.
Well done to Arsenal. They're winning North London. Well done.
Yeah. Tottenham are getting dragged around London. They lost 3-0 to Palace. They lost 3-0 to Arsenal. And I believe it was Chelsea. So they've been south, they've been west, and they've been north. Now we just need West Ham to complete the round trip. But we're gonna end the show not with United talk, but we'll be ending the show with the Manchester United versus Aston Villa match. So if you were here for that, then you're gonna have to stay tuned and make sure you sit through the whole program. But where are we starting?
I'm gonna start Chelsea Man City. This is the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the season. Two title contenders. Chelsea, who I believe are the number one challengers to City this season. And they literally just, I don't know, their tactics were just literally to try and absorb all this pressure from Man City. Man City had, overall, in possession, they had 59%, but it seemed like way more. Zaha just scored a penalty right now. Palace are playing Brighton. But yeah, going back to the Chelsea-City game. Yeah, Chelsea literally sat back and expected to just play on the counter-attack with Lukaku and Werner up top. But literally, the midfield were not getting a hold of the game or getting the ball and playing it forward. So for Chelsea, eventually City are going to get a goal. No matter how deep you sit, City will carve you open and they'll get a chance.
Yeah.
Good evening, Big Run.
Good evening, Big Run.
So, Gabriel Jesus with the goal. There's a bit of creativity from himself to create the chance and then get the shot off, which was deflected into the goal. But City were going to get a goal anyway.
They always find a way to score, whether or not they will slap one in from 35 yards. More often than not, they'll work their way around you. They'll pass you to death, find that little gap that's created because of tired legs, and then find their way into the back of the net. But I didn't watch the whole match. I was very, very busy this weekend. I only managed to watch the Manchester United match, actually, which was at the same time as the Man City-Chelsea match, which was why I didn't watch it. But Manchester City, Chelsea, I saw the average positions of the players. Lots of different pictures floating around Twitter. And obviously there was a lot of abuse. Would you call it abuse, or just maybe higher standards type of abuse from Chelsea fans and rival fans that was very reactionary, calling Thomas Tuchel just defensive. He's just defensive this, defensive that, when they've been praising him as one of the best managers in the world. But as you said, they waited for Lukaku and Werner to just basically break on a counter. There must have been about a 35-yard gap between the midfielders and basically the midfielders and the whole team, and then Lukaku and Werner. And I just looking at it and thinking there's no chance that, maybe I'm being reactionary, but they can't go for the whole Premier League. They can't go through the whole Premier League season like that.
No, you can't be playing that formation. You have to change it up. Why do you have more defenders than attackers on the pitch against Man City?
I think against Man City, they're such a difficult team because we know them to be one of the best teams in the world. I'd say an easy top 3 team in the world. Manchester City, the depth, the players, and the quality of coaching that they have. But then when teams come up against them, Chelsea, perfect example. I don't think you can sit deep against Man City because they have the quality to just pass it and pass it and pass it for 89 minutes. They're going to find a way to score if you sit deep. Doesn't matter how good you are defensively. Look at Leeds when they beat Manchester City last season. They sat deep, yes, but they were able to play against Manchester City.
Mm.
When they got on the ball, they were able to string passes together, and they were able to actually attack them without fear. When we play them and when we beat them regularly, yes, we sit deep, but at the same time, we don't have a massive gap between our furthest midfielder and our deepest striker, if that makes sense. We have a compact unit, so when we're able to get the ball, we're still able to play, and if we need to, we're still able to play on the counter, and we're brave. Chelsea weren't brave. They weren't intelligent enough when they had the ball and they were able to get it forward to Lukaku or Werner. And I just think it was naive from
I
Tuchel.
feel like the players didn't buy into the system Tuchel set out for that game. Like the defenders, once they got the ball, they just wanted to kick it far.
Yeah.
They weren't really confident in their attackers. Obviously, like Timo Werner, Lukaku up front, they weren't. That was the only option, just to play it long. But at the same time, the defenders weren't confident in playing like that. And when they did play it to midfield, the midfield would get dispossessed because City, as Big Ron says, there was a footballing masterclass from Pep. Made Chelsea and Tuchel look one-dimensional. Yeah, Man City was so brave, pressing in 5. Yeah, they're pressing very high press against Chelsea. Chelsea couldn't beat the press. Not one shot on target.
It just wasn't good enough. Look,
Pros on the TV says Tuchel has set Chelsea up to not concede first, but I don't think they have a natural wing back. That's why they tried to go for Kimi in the summer.
Yeah, I can see that, but I have to defend Tuchel as well as, you know, pick out his weaknesses in that game. I don't think he played different to the way that they usually play. I just think they come up against such a good team that were playing so well, like on that day, that all of their weaknesses were just exploited and actually torn apart. Like they play the same formation. That comment there from Pros Only TV, I agree with that comment. By the way, I think Hakimi would have been perfect for them. They don't have natural wing backs. They have a natural wing back in Alonso, who's been playing out of his skin recently, but they don't have one on the right. I don't think Reece James is a wing back. I think he's
a
well-rounded right back.
He's a right back who can play also in midfield.
Yeah, so I think there's a common misconception nowadays where look, you have Wan-Bissaka, who's defensively in terms of one-on-one defending, interceptions, the best in the league. Then you have Trent, who is the best right back in the world. I'll start with, but he's the best attacking fullback in the world as well. But then you have Reece James. He's the middle ground. If you want best of both worlds, you go for him, or you go for someone like Kieran Trippier. I'm talking about English right backs now, but that doesn't mean he's a right wing back. That just means he's not the best defensively and he's not the best going forward. He's still a right back or maybe a centre back, which he has played in the back three before, but he's not a right wing back. He's not the natural solution there. Hakimi is a very, very natural wing back. I think Thomas Meunier, who plays for Dortmund now, is a very, very natural wing back, because I think a wing back is someone who, if they needed to play right wing, could play right wing. If they needed to play right mid, could play right mid. But if they were just slotted in as a fullback or a right back, it might not be the best fit for them. Reece James in a fullback as a right back is very, very good. He's one of the best in the league. It's just as a wing back, you have different responsibilities, and I just don't think that's his game. And the same with Azpilicueta when he gets put out there, because if I'm wrong, didn't Reece James get taken off?
I don't think he played. Let me quickly check.
Nah, I didn't watch the match.
No, he didn't.
A tiny bit of it.
He didn't play.
Who got taken off? I know
Kante. It was Kante and Jorginho, and Reece James did. Reece James did get taken off.
Yeah, he was injured.
Injured. 29th minute.
That would have been embarrassing. That would have been embarrassing after all of that, and he didn't even play. I knew he got taken off. And I think the same goes for Azpilicueta. Look, he's been at Chelsea how long? How many? 9 years or almost 10 years now. I think they signed him when they won the Champions League in 2012. So he's been there 9 years. I don't think he's a wing back. I just think he's very good defensively, not the best attacking, but he can do a job there. They don't have a natural wing back. And I think a natural wing back completes their team, because with a natural wing back there, then I don't think you need to have a million defenders on the pitch. And that's one of the reasons why I think there's such a massive gap in that game between the furthest midfielder and the deepest striker. And I just think their weaknesses got exploited.
Exactly why Chelsea have problems. You can't play wing backs in a game like this. Maybe play 4-3-3. At least you can get wingers onto the pitch. You have players like Hudson-Odoi on the bench. Kai Havertz started on the bench, I think. Why are those players on the bench in the biggest game of the season? Why is Kai Havertz Champions League winner, goal scorer? Why is he on the bench? Players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, he can't play in that Chelsea system because he's not a wing back.
He's a winger.
He's a winger. It'd be better if he's utilised in a system where he can play that. Same with Kai Havertz. Havertz could be better in a system where you have like a front three or something, or front four. But at the same time, Chelsea did miss out on Mason Mount. He's a player who is the link between the defense and the attack. He's a player that defenders or central defensive midfielders will look for when playing the ball forward, because he finds those pockets of space and can play it to strikers and make things happen. But he was obviously out for that game. Big Ron says Pep and Man City comprehensively beat the European champions on all levels in their manner. So refreshing compared to Ollie Ball. We'll get onto Ollie Ball.
You are in for a treat later on, by the way, guys.
If Pep wins the league without a striker again, it'll be a madness.
See, I don't think Man City are going to win the league. I'll say that now. I don't think they're going to do it.
The way they just dispatched of Chelsea without a striker, they play to their strengths. They can play, they'll overload the wings, and they'll get the ball, and they'll still score goals. They don't need a striker, so Pep can do it. He can do it again.
I'm trying not to be reactionary, but I don't know, something about this whole season. The 4 teams at the top. I'm saying 4 now. I'm going to decrease it to 3 because United pissed me off so much. But the 4 or 3 teams at the top, I don't think Man City are going to win it. Hate to say it, but
you think Liverpool?
Man.
Do you look at? We're going to get on to the Liverpool game. 3-3 Brentford. This season is so open. It's very open, but you can't just say Man City, because we could have said Man City last year in December, and look what happened to them. So Pep is the best manager in the league. Anything can happen. Man City doubled up on the wing backs. Not sure if you noticed City were on a mad. They had pairs. Yeah, that's what they did. They know their strengths. Their strengths are on the wing. They overload, and then they get the ball into the box. The pairs were in close proximity, putting the ball, passing to each other was easier. It was crazy. One player I want to talk about is Bernardo Silva, a player who has worked his way back into the City starting 11. And I didn't really understand his role. He was literally everywhere. I saw him making tackles high on, high press, and then you see him back in the City box. Like, he's playing on the right side, but then I see him in the left back position, slide tackling and winning the ball back for Man City. City was just hungry. They wanted the ball. They wanted everything more than Chelsea players did. And Bernardo Silva was one of the best players on the pitch that game.
Do you think that's to do with the fact that he's kind of been in and out of the side recently? A few weeks ago during the transfer window, like the latter stages of the transfer window, reports, I don't know how true they were, saying that he was looking for a move away. Do you think he has a point to prove? Do you think that was part of his great performance, or do you think that was?
I think it's part of that. He has things to prove to Pep, but then he's shown a completely different side to his game that we don't usually see. He was playing in the free midfield of Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. He played the full 90. De Bruyne got subbed, and I didn't realize he could play like that. Like, defensively, he was very good defensively. He could be CDM for Man U. He could play as a lone CDM in that 6. Because I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know he was capable of doing that. But yeah, I think he was also trying to prove his point that he should be at the club. And it was just playing through his skin. He was running non-stop.
Yeah, one thing about Pep teams is that every single player will have to chip in defensively. You're looking at, can't remember the match. Might be even been against Chelsea or the match before. Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez were getting blasted even though they were two of the best players on the pitch. It couldn't have been against Chelsea because they weren't adhering to their defensive responsibilities. And that's just it's just what Pep demands from his players. Whatever position you play, if you're in a position and you have to tackle someone, you will tackle them, and they must go through it on training. Bernardo Silva's always been someone who's puts a foot in. He's aggressive. He's an aggressive little player. He's short, low center of gravity. He can get between you and the ball. He can put a tackle in when he needs. But yeah, I just think he has a point to prove because he wasn't getting nearly enough games last season. Because with the quality that he possesses, he could get into any team, bar a few in world football. He's one of the better players in his position, and I think he has quality that can definitely help Manchester City challenge very strongly for the Premier League this season. And I think he's going to be a regular fixture.
Big Ron says that Man City are head and shoulders above everyone. Chelsea and Liverpool. After, not sure about the rest. Arsenal, a Pep player not getting into the team has a point to prove, but United player not getting into the things out the place when he comes onto the pitch.
As you know what, I don't even know who he's talking about because we have so many players that I feel like you're talking about Sancho or Lingard or
we'll get on to Man U because
there's a lot to say. That could literally be about 8 or 9 players, and that's
hard work,
emotional.
But yeah, another player I want to talk about in the Man City team was Jack Grealish. £100 million. I still don't think that money is justified. Why 100 million? What does he actually bring apart from drawing fouls? He's not a goal scorer. He might get assists. And that's, I don't really know much more because he's playing on the wing. He's benching Sterling,
which he shouldn't be.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. I believe Sterling's a better winger. But literally because they paid 100 million, he has to play basically.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Sterling offers much more on the wing than Jack Grealish does.
I don't know. As I said a few weeks ago, Man City have gone from you've got Sterling on one side, Sane on the other side, killing teams with the pace, like destroying teams. You'd pass it around, get tired, and then you still have to deal with Sterling and Sane making runs in behind. They've gone from that to just passing it around you. They've gone from that to Riyad Mahrez, who's still got a bit of pace about him, and Jack Grealish, who again is just similar to Mahrez, but on the other side. That's what I think Pep Guardiola is going to. Sterling is still, I think, their best winger. He's still England's best winger. He's still one of the best wingers in the world. He still produces stats that even strikers can't get. And for some reason, he finds himself behind Jack Grealish now, who, because of the English tax, because of his marketability, because of the fact that everyone loves him, all of the fanfare around him at the Euros, 6 goals last season for Villa, I want to say 7 assists. He didn't have brilliant stats in terms of his direct goal contribution. They weren't brilliant stats, but the 100 million price tag is the reason he's starting. If he costs 50 million, gosh, he's on the bench for Sterling and Sterling starts ahead of him. I don't see any other way around it. It's I've just seen that comment.
Exactly. I've seen it as well. I'm not going to address it because I'm not going to address it.
I was looking at you smiling. I'm thinking,
yeah.
But Sterling is Manchester City's best winger, and I think once the whole 100 million you need to start Jack Grealish thing dies a little bit, because I think there will come a time where I think you kind of have to go back to what you know and what has. It's not like Sterling's fallen off because he hasn't. He's still producing, but it's almost like they want to try something new. I don't know.
Yeah,
we all know Pep Guardiola loves to
take changed their system now. He's changed the way they're playing. As he said, they're just going to pass it around, not really play the free ball like he would to Sterling, but just pass it around. And I guess it's working. They've beaten Chelsea. Obviously, the first few games, the system wasn't properly implemented, but once they get used to the system, I feel like it's going to work. But against some teams, who are good defensively and are good attacking wise, it's not going to work. I feel like City will get picked off in certain games because of the way they play.
Yeah, and I probably didn't have the best reason for them not winning the league, but I think one of the reasons why I don't think they're going to win a league is because even in the cup finals, the Champions League final, for the first time in 60-something games, he didn't play a CDM. I just feel like when it comes down to it, you have so many players in your squad now that should be starting for every team in the Premier League. You overthink and you just do some weird things. And I think not playing Raheem Sterling, a player that's proven himself, a player that's one of your vice captains, a player that scores 20 plus goals a season, 10 plus assists a season, the best winger in the Premier League, one of the best wingers in the Premier League. Once you stop playing him, once De Bruyne stops getting games, which his game time has been decreasing, once you're doing all of these things, I just feel like you're going to slip up eventually. And then, look, this season is going to be ridiculous. Once you drop 4 points or 5 points, you're probably not going to be able to find your way back in. And I just think that's why he's not going to win it, because he has too much. I think there is such thing as too much talent. Too much of anything isn't good. And when you have too many world-class players, when you have too many players that you have two starting 11s effectively, Manchester City. I think once you have that, it's just too much. I think it's a bit overwhelming.
I mean, Big Ron is saying that it's similar treatment to Silva a few seasons back and what's happened to Sane.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can see Sterling leaving potentially?
Yeah, I think he look. You've got teams in different countries who will be looking to rebuild. Real Madrid, one of them. He's 100% good at look. You've got Vinicius on the wing for Real Madrid. You've got Rodrigo on the other side, aging Gareth Bale. No one can tell me that Sterling doesn't come in and absolutely rejuvenise their front line with Karim Benzema, who's possibly the best striker in the world at the moment on form. He might be looking away because it's Raheem. He knows his worth. Raheem Sterling is one player you know for a fact. He knows how good he is. He has the confidence. He has that confidence in himself where he can say, why am I not playing for Man City? Jack Grealish, yeah, he's good. I'm speaking from Raheem Sterling's point of view now. Jack Grealish is good. Mahrez is good, but I'm Raheem Sterling. I've just been scoring 20 plus goals for the past few years. Why am I not starting? I've started one game out of the last 5. I can just go somewhere else. I can get, I want a new challenge. That's what a lot of footballers say. I want a new challenge. Might want to leave England because he's not going to go to a different team in the Premier League. You've got a team like Barcelona, Real Madrid. Couldn't see him going to Italy. Maybe even Bayern Munich. I don't know, but I could see him leaving because I just feel like what Ron said there, what he's doing with Sterling now is what he did with Sane, who eventually left, and what he did with Bernardo Silva. I just don't think Raheem Sterling's going to be the one that's going to just sit around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But on to the next game. Jamie Vardy scored a hat-trick, but unfortunately one of them was an own goal. And yeah, Leicester drew 2-2 at home to Burnley. A black guy on the score sheet for Burnley, Maxwell Cornet.
Great goal.
And yeah, it was a good finish. There's not really much to say about that game, to be honest, apart from...
I just love Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, Vardy, clinical. You know,
when is he going to slow down? When is he going to slow down? I don't think anyone can tell me when Vardy's going to slow down, because it's almost like, obviously, before I say this disclaimer, I'm not saying these two players are similar or on the same level, but he's almost like Ronaldo. Every year he goes into the season and people are like, oh, is he slowing down now? He's not going to be the same as he was, because he relies on pace, like he relies on his explosive ability. But he just finds a way to score the goals. His movement's improving, and he's scoring these little flicks at the front post quite regularly now. And I say he's similar to Ronaldo because everyone doubts him, but he proves them wrong. I don't know when he's going to slow down. He might slow down physically in terms of his top speed or his ability to make 15 sprints a game in behind, but he's still always going to find a way to slap the back of the net with that football. And without him, Leicester wouldn't be the same team they are. I know they've got Patson Daka, they've got Kelechi Iheanacho, they've got Harvey Barnes, who I really like as well. But Jamie Vardy is the man at Leicester, and he is the guy that's going to drive them into the top 4 if they get there.
And another decision from Brendan Rodgers is he's been benching Maddison,
Mm.
playing Ademola Lookman over him. Ademola Lookman, the player he was on loan at Fulham, player who was on loan at Leipzig, and now he's back in the Premier League with Leicester. And he's in the starting 11, benching Maddison, who was thought to be the next star in England going to the Euros. But ever since he made that mistake and whatever happened, and then he's just not. I just feel like ever since that mistake, Brendan Rodgers has just been very strict.
Is it the? Are you
And
talking about the party?
yeah, the party. I feel like ever since then, you haven't really heard much of Maddison, apart
Look,
from
he was
yeah.
injured as well. Let's not forget. It it went from what's it? Grealish and Foden. Maddison joined in that conversation. Grealish and Foden kind of went ahead. I like Maddison. I think he's good. But I mean, I think he's just an average player. Like Zaha almost just called. Sorry, I just think he's an average player. I don't think he's anything really special. And I think same with what's going to happen to Jack Grealish. I'm predicting the hype just died down a little bit. Forget the party because everyone makes mistakes, and he did get back into the team. He got injured as well, and that will set someone back. But what he was doing a couple of years ago, when he was actually like talking himself into the England team, I don't know. I don't know him personally, so it's really hard for me to say. But I feel like maybe he started to believe in his own hype. He was playing in Scotland when he was younger. He worked his way up. Like he had to grind. He was at Norwich, and then I think he was one of the better players in the Championship. Got his move to Leicester. When he came to Leicester, he was a bit of an unknown quantity, but he still had the people around him saying, "Look, he's going to be England's creative player. He was that one attacking midfielder that England didn't have, because England were lacking that creative spark just behind the striker. When he was there, he was effectively the first one in a few years. And I feel like he just got a bit comfy. And then when Foden came, when Mount came, when Grealish came, it's like, oh my God, I have a lot of competition now. And maybe when it was the conversation between them four, who's which one has the best? I feel like he was just ahead of all of them a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Then he got linked to Arsenal. Then Foden burst on. Like he was playing ridiculous football. Same with Grealish. And same with
there's a lot of competition in that area, and if you're not performing week in, week out, you're not going to get chosen. And that's basically what happened.
He strikes me as a tiny bit of maybe a little bit arrogant. I don't know. But that's just me. That's just a perception I have of him personally. So obviously I can't definitively say that's the reason why. Big Ron's comment there. Maddison is a top quality player. Number 10. England do not produce too many quality number 10s. However, there is a current crop. Yeah. And I don't think Maddison is in the top 4, top 5. Look, as he listed there, you got Mount, Foden, Grealish, Sterling. Is there anybody else that you would put ahead of Maddison there?
Yeah, that's the problem. There's too much talent in that area, and I don't believe Maddison will get into. He's not in that list. Not even on the bench. He's not. There's too many good outstanding players in that list that he wouldn't get in over, and that's a very good problem that England have.
Look, footballers are human, which is something a lot of people forget when talking about them and just their general footballing ability, their personalities. Footballers are human. Maddison will be in a position where he knows that he's probably not in the top 4 in his position for the England national team. He's not as good as he was a couple of years ago. Do you think maybe it's just a matter of they're ahead of me now? The lack of confidence. I don't know. Like
it's very hard because, like, imagine you're the player. You're in a position where you're literally about to be in the England squad, and then XYZ happens, and now you're the 4th best.
Yeah,
4th in line, and all he can do is just keep doing what he's doing for Leicester, not really worrying about England. He's still very young. Opportunities will still come. So for him, just keep doing what he can at Leicester, keep progressing, and then that's all he can do, to be honest,
But
because there's not much else. He is
he was
still a great talent.
linked to Arsenal this window, like the window just gone as well. Personally, it's a move which I think he should have taken. I know Arsenal are very good, and I know they haven't been in the best of form, but the players that they have, I think we said it on the last show, they have a good team. They just are not playing very well. They're not gelled. I think Maddison would have been quite good in an Arsenal shirt, and I think it might have helped him progress his career a little bit, because football isn't just about your ability. It's about the team you're at. It's about your presence. Nowadays, it's about your presence in, are you a household name? On social media, your marketability, the amount that you can contribute to the team as well. I think he should have moved to Arsenal, because Leicester aren't going to get a top four. They're not the biggest team. I look at their current crop of players. They've got Ndidi, they've got Vardy. Who else do they have that could actually take them to the next level? You've got at Arsenal, you've got Bukayo Saka. You've got Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, if he went to a team like Arsenal, he could have been one of those players to carry the team.
Exactly.
But obviously now Arsenal have Odegaard, Smith-Rowe, Saka, who are carrying the team for Arsenal.
Yeah.
He could have been part of that team, but now he's just within the Leicester squad. Yes, he might carry Leicester to an extent, but in Arsenal, it's a bigger club. Arsenal is still a bigger club than Leicester. It might not be a better team, but it's a bigger club. Yeah. So, as he said, it's about what club you're at the same time. His name would have been out there much more than at Leicester, and that's just the way football is.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like he needs to just find himself the way he was playing a couple of years ago and really just kick on, because he has stagnated a little bit. Yes, he had an injury, but I just feel like he's not the same as he was.
And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to a team in the Premier League, Norwich City, James Maddison's former club, because they haven't won a game. I mean, look at the table. Wait, they're on 0 points, aren't they?
Is it like? Are you surprised though? Like, be honest.
No, we did say this in our predictions. We said it. We didn't expect them to do well this season. Lost 2-0 away to Everton, Townsend penalty and Doucouré. And I mean, it's expected. Everton under Benitez are doing well.
But Everton always start the season well. Like Everton look, you'll see Everton at top by October, by very early November. But no one's ever scared because it's Everton. Like, there's no surprise to me that they're doing well. They're near the top of the table. But Norwich, man. Obviously, they're not going to change the rules. But when I just see teams like Norwich and West Brom come to the Premier League, it annoys me. That's why I like to see.
You just know what's going to happen.
Exactly. like West Brom are going to come back up, I think. Fulham are going to do the same.
Yeah.
It's the yo-yo teams. It's just a waste of, not to be rude, but it's just a waste of space. I want to see a team like Nottingham Forest back in the Prem. I want to see, who was it a couple of years ago? Rotherham almost got the playoffs. I wanted them to get playoffs because you never know. I wanted to see, I mean, if you're going to come up and come down, at least make it an exciting team that's never played in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, what are they doing with the money that they get? What are they investing in, really?
The playoff final and the championship, a couple of the richest games, prize money pools in football. Who do they sign? They signed Kabak. Kabak was a weird one because he was on loan from Schalke, I think. Went to Liverpool. Yeah. So obviously he was good enough to.
And then Schalke got relegated from Bundesliga. So
but not one team wanted to buy Kabak. I'm pretty sure they signed him on deadline day. Norwich. The whole thing was weird. Like the players
Brandon Williams, he's not the best player, but they got him on loan. They've got who else? The Chelsea youngster on loan. In centre mid.
Billy Gilmore.
Yeah, Gilmore.
You've got Ida up front, I believe. Or am I completely wrong?
Up front.
The Irish striker. They obviously got Pookie
and Sargent.
Oh, the American.
Yeah.
Todd Cantwell, I don't know what happened to him. He's not lighting the world on fire anymore. I don't think he ever was, but
I think he's
definitely
probably
isn't
injured.
now. They lost Buendia as well, who I think was their best player. They signed Norwegian centre midfielder.
Yeah.
I think that's his name. He's not that bad. I've seen him play a couple of times. He's not that bad, if I'm being honest. But Norwich in general, whatever they spend their money on is not going to the right places in terms of adding quality to their squad. Their managerial appointments haven't been good.
I mean, I guess it's because the manager they have, yes, he would get relegated from the Prem, but then he goes and wins the championship.
Yeah.
So like, oh, let's keep him. And then he's going to get relegated from the Prem again. But then he's going to get them back up. Oh, let's keep him. So I mean, if that's their club ambition to keep going up and down, then that's their club ambition. There's nothing much.
I mean, it gets the money though. Like it gets you a lot of money.
Yeah. Maybe they invest in the money in their youth, maybe, and then their philosophy is to invest into the youth and then eventually sell the youth like they sold Madison, get money back. That's their business plan. At the end of the day, clubs are businesses. So they have their business plan, they have their strategy, they know what they want to do. And it's working. It must be working for them.
Yeah, well, must be working for them. But in terms of me, a viewer of football in the Premier League, the league I watch the most, seeing Norwich get promoted doesn't fill me with any sort of excitement for the new season whatsoever.
Do you think they'll win a game this season?
No, yeah, of course they will win a game. Like you could, like, I know because look, the quality, the quality of the Premier League as a whole has improved. That doesn't necessarily mean each team has improved, but in this case, each team has improved apart from Norwich. And that is a very, very valid question you've asked. I know I laughed, but it's not funny. If they went for the whole season with 8 points, those 8 points might come from 8 draws. I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think they will win a game. I don't.
Yeah, watch them beat us.
Yeah, they will. They will.
I don't think they can beat us. But yeah, Mikel Antonio on the score sheet again for West Ham in the 2-1 win. Literally, I think that was like, what was it? When did he score? 90th minute. Composed.
I'm trying to remember the goal.
It was I remember the goal from Declan Rice to Antonio and tapped it around the defender and then one-on-one with the keeper. He just knew he was gonna score. And yeah, top scorer, I think, in the league.
That's an injury.
Leeds, as we said, Leeds, they'll win games and they'll lose games. At least they didn't lose by a lot. But
surprise.
Continue form of life, yes. In his post-match interview, saying that hopefully he can sit at the top of the charts for goal scoring.
Yeah, look, he's a good player. He's a unorthodox striker. That touch that he put past, I don't know who the centre back was, but that touch that got it past the centre back, it's not a touch you see a lot. It's almost like a knock and run. It's almost like, you know, when you're playing for your school or you're playing against your friends, and I don't know, it just doesn't look like a professional footballer's type of movement.
Someone creative, like he just knows how to be a player and just use his space to an advantage.
Yeah, and I like it. I'm a fan of it. I do like Antonio quite a lot, man. I think he's a perfect man for West Ham. The fan base love him. I love him. He needs to just replicate the form for Jamaica, if I'm really honest, because his debut was a shocker.
He's saying that he should play for England instead of Kane.
It's too late now.
I mean, England had the opportunity, but they didn't want to give it to him, and now look at him. That's what happens.
Literally, he's played one game for Jamaica. I think they did update the rules a couple of years ago because of Munir. That was what triggered it. If you're under 23 years old, and you've played less than 2 or 3 games of like competitive international football, then you can switch allegiances. But if you're over 23, you would have had to have not played an active, like not even a friendly, but an active international game for 3 years. So Antonio, you never know. Like if he didn't go and play for Jamaica, he might have been called up. But Greenwood isn't even getting called up, so I can't really see Antonio getting called up, if I'm honest. Even if he was available for selection.
Yeah, we'll move on to the other side of London, West London, Brentford, Liverpool.
What a
3-3
game.
draw. I tuned into the game. I think it was 1-1 the time I tuned in. And yeah, it was a great game. Liverpool went up 2-1. Brentford came back 2-2. And then Curtis Jones rocket deflection, but went in 3-2. And very composed finish from Wisa. And
Nice little
3-3.
dink, wasn't it? Wasn't it a little chip?
Man,
Man,
you're
I love
saying
Brentford.
Liverpool are going to win the league?
Nah, man, I just love Brentford. I'm not surprised. I like the way I like their manager. Obviously, I'm not saying, look, I like him enough for him to come and manage a top team, but I do like the way Brentford play. This high energy, and they keep. It's always the teams in those little tight stadiums, isn't it? It's the atmosphere. 12th man, 13th man, even for Brentford, got them through that game. Look, perfect result for me because Manchester United obviously lost and dropped points, as did a few of the other big teams. So I was very happy with the result, but I still do think that Liverpool have a lot more to offer in terms of
you say that, but
they have in the league.
Do they? I'm seeing obviously Salah inevitable is going to goals scored again.
Yes, that's on form. Salah might be the best player in the league right now.
They can play Jota up front, have Mane on the left. Mane not really in form. Jota scored
Exactly,
and then they can bring Firmino off the bench. However, if you're conceding 3 goals against Brentford, why can't you concede 4 against Man City? It's like
because it just won't happen, though, will it? It just won't happen. No, we concede dumb goals against the tiny teams, but we'll go and beat Man City 2-0. Like it's the Premier League. These small team victories happen every single week. That's why it's the best league in the world. That's what they're saying is. But look, you said it even there. Mane isn't really playing very well. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if he's fallen off. Like, is he just low on confidence? Is he out of form, or is he just not? Or is he just losing it? Because I'm not 100% sure, but I've also never really been a fan of Diogo Jota. I think his actions on the pitch in terms of his greediness are not earned. Is that the right way to say it? I don't think he's good enough to be that greedy. When Salah's that greedy, but he'll score 40 goals a season. Jota won't pass to Ronaldo for Portugal. He won't pass to Salah. He won't do this and that, but he will only score 15 goals. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're Salah, when you're Kane, Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, all of these players, and you don't pass across the goal because you took a shot and missed, it's cool. Yeah, everyone's angry for about 20 seconds. But look, you score 40, 50 goals a season. So you can do that. But when you get to Jota, I just don't think he's that guy. I've never been a fan of him. We were linked to him, and I was just like, I'd rather have Rashford on the left, which I think is completely justified. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah. Big Ron makes a good point here about Brentford's game plan. They basically just took it back to basics, and manager saying, in the tactics room, manager saying, here's the weak area, Trent Alexander-Arnold's weak area. What we're going to do is overload his side. So whenever Brentford got crossed the ball into the box, there was about 3 versus 1, and Trent is not going to handle it. They overloaded him. He's the weakness in that Liverpool squad. Overloaded him defensively. He's weak, and that's how they got their goal. That's how they got the second goal. That's how they got the third goal, just by overloading and targeting the weak point in the team.
Yeah,
and obviously Liverpool are going to have to work on that because they know clubs are going to target their weak point. I mean, every team has a weak point somewhere, so it's not just Liverpool, it's Man U, City, Chelsea. Many teams have weak points. So Yeah, as Big Ron says, you can't. That's why you can't win money in football, because there's always results you just don't see coming.
Every week.
You expect Liverpool to win 3-0.
Have you been seeing those pictures on Twitter recently? People are like one little result or a booking away from winning £90,000 on these apps. Like, it's just, Brentford is the perfect example. I mean, smaller teams are the perfect example of. That's why I don't bet on football, to be honest. If I'm perfectly honest with you, because you can never predict everything in it. But I think Brentford deserved it. I watched some extended highlights, and by that I mean I watched a lot of different highlight clips. So I kind of like put them together in my head. But yeah, man, I like the way Brentford play. And almost, look, I relate everything back to Man United, but I'm going to do it again. You see how you were talking about, look, they identified the weakness in terms of when we have the ball, what can we do to hurt them the most? Not when we don't have it, when we have it. And they said, look, we're just going to put everyone on Trent. And that's what they did. That's kind of what Ollie does. You know, when we play against the big teams, he identifies what we can do to hurt them only when we have the ball, because he's not that good enough of a manager to put a team out like Man City or like Liverpool or like Chelsea and just play one way and win every week. He's not that guy. He's not that manager. He doesn't have the quality yet to make, hopefully, I say yet with hope, because he might do in the future. But he identifies what. That's why we played. That's why we don't. That's why when we go into a match, we just don't know what's going to happen, because it's not going to be the same performance as last week, because he's lined up that team and set up that team during the week to say, look, we're playing against Man City today, so we're just going to give it to Dan James when Dan Jones is here. We're going to give it to the wingers, and when the wingers have the ball, we're all going to push up, apart from the centre backs and the two CDMs or whatever, and that's when we're going to kill them on a counter attack or whatever. But then when you play against a team that will sit back, he's stuck, because you can't really. I'm going to stop talking because I just remembered we're talking about United at the end of the show.
Yeah, we'll get into that, because there's so much to say about Man U, about Ollie, about the players, there's a lot. But the final game before we get onto that is the North London derby. Yeah. Yesterday, Arsenal on smoke, 3 goals in the first half. Saka, Aubameyang, Smith Rowe man of the match. Tottenham got a goal in the second half. I mean, Tottenham won the second half, but Arsenal were on smoke in that first half, and Tottenham were just poor. Tottenham just did not adapt to anything. I saw Anton just on the left. I don't know what he was doing on the left. He was just there. Dele Alli was just behind Kane. I don't know what he was doing. And then you had Højbjerg in the middle, who I don't know what he's doing. And then Kane, a guy who doesn't want to be at the club.
It's so very, very, very obvious. He just doesn't want to be there, does he? That letter or whatever he wrote, he had to write it because he knew that he messed up. I think when you're someone like Harry Kane, you know, he's the vice captain. He's England's captain. He's one of the most likable guys for whatever reason. One of the best strikers in the world. He's playing at a club that's not going to win the league. They're not going to win the Champions League. They're not going to win the Europa League because they're not in it. They probably won't even win the Conference League because there's a couple of good teams in there. You're not going to win the Carling Cup. You're not going to win the FA Cup. That's 7 trophies now. You're not going to win anything. He's only going to be thinking about when he's at Tottenham, I need to get my purse. I need to get another golden boot, or I need to get another something, an individual award. Because when
I win Players Player this season.
Yeah, and that might be going through his head because he has to be real with himself. All of these PR media training sessions are, you obviously cannot go into an interview as a Tottenham player or whatever player, an Arsenal player, and say we're not going to win the league this season. His answer is going to be, yeah, we're going to try and win the league this season, and I think we can do it because we have a good squad, blah, blah, blah. We have a good manager. But he knows in the back of his head he was desperate to leave the club this summer and go to a club like Manchester City. But unfortunately for him, they basically blew their budget on Jack Grealish and left him stranded, basically, after coming out publicly by not showing up to training. You don't not show up to training for no reason. People aren't stupid. Obviously, he didn't come out and say, I want to leave Tottenham, that's why I'm not coming to training. But what that apology letter or whatever did, basically said to the fans and everyone else, I tried to leave Tottenham this summer and I couldn't. So what I'm going to do is come out to you guys and basically try and make up an excuse for myself and try and save my own ass from looking like someone who doesn't want to be here. But he knows, look, Manchester City, one of the best teams in the world. Tottenham are not. He's 27 or 28 now, I think. And he's going to start slowing down in a few years. He needs to just win something because at this point, I feel bad for him. You can't score that many goals. Be one of the best strikers in the world and win nothing. Because what has he won? Ibs, what has he won? Nothing.
He's won
Audi Cup.
He's won the Audi Cup.
And he's won a lot of personal awards.
Yeah. Don't Burn Your Bridges says Big Ron. Yeah, the latest still 1-0 to Palace. Welbeck has just come off injured. I feel sorry for that guy. He's just injured all the time. But yeah, Arsenal. Let's talk about Arsenal because we always banter Arsenal, always laugh about Arsenal. But yesterday,
banter Arsenal.
Yeah, we still will. But Arsenal yesterday, I watched the whole game and I watched the whole first half and they were brilliant. Every attack, it looked like they were going to score, and Tottenham all over the place made it easy for Arsenal, made Arsenal look so much better, and it looked like Wenger ball. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like the old time seeing Arsenal play, the way they were playing it first time, one touch, round the corners, cutting it back into the box, scoring. Aubameyang's goal, Smith Rowe's goal, and Saka's goal came from Harry Kane just dwelling on the ball in the final third, getting dispossessed. Saka runs up the pitch. Kane runs back to try and tackle him, and the ball ricochets off the Spurs defense and falls into the path of Saka, who just slots into the goal. All came down to Harry Kane, who was dispossessed in the first place. As Pros Only TV says, you can't feel sorry for Kane. He signed a 6-year deal with the assurances or release clause.
When did he sign that 6-year deal? Was it after the Champions League final?
Probably around that time. Because obviously Poch was still there. So he thought they were bullying something. Obviously Poch is still there. They just got to the Champions League final. It would make sense, to be honest.
Yeah. That's what I think is
Levi probably promised them everything. But now look what's happened.
Man, it's tough. It's tough for someone like Kane because how many years, if anybody knows Big Ron of Pros Only, how many years left does he have on his contract? Because what were they quoting? 120 million that Tottenham were asking for Kane, which only tells me he has about 3-something years left on his contract. But that's just a guess. I'm not 100% sure. No one's buying him. People can't afford him. Man City won't be able to.
And you're not buying him because of his injuries at the same time.
Exactly.
And his age.
You've got Mbappe that's going to leave, Haaland, Lautaro Martinez, even Robert Lewandowski, man. His contract is going up at Bayern Munich. You've got that's probably it in terms of like the top quality. I think Harry Kane's stuck. That's why I feel bad for him, because I like him. I want to see Harry Kane lifting a trophy. If we didn't sign Ronaldo, I personally would have taken him at United, maybe next year or whatever. But I just think he's stuck at Tottenham because there you have one of the best owners, I'd say, in terms of Daniel Levy. He's good with his money. Look, he hasn't done a bad job at Tottenham. He's done, I think, quite a good job. He's very, 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 very difficult to deal with. And that's why I think Harry Kane is stuck, because why would he sell Harry Kane for 50, 60 million when he has one of the best strikers in the world?
There's no guarantee of success, no matter how good you are. Many, many great players have never won. Yeah, many great players have never won silver, but success is really to do with trophies.
I mean, at least
Alan Shearer is only spoken about because of the goals, but
he won the league. Like, he won stuff.
He did win silverware, so
yeah. Like, if people say it all the time, if Harry Kane doesn't win anything, no one's going to remember him, man. It's true. It's just true.
Just that guy who scored goals, really. But when another guy scores goals, less goals than you, but wins more than you, they're going to talk about him. Not
exactly.
About you.
Look at Drogba. Scored way less. I think way less goals than Harry Kane. But he won a Champions League, he won the Premier League, he won the AFCON. He won everything that he could have won. And he has a legendary status, and rightly so. Harry Kane, look, or maybe if he just wins one trophy, if he just wins a big trophy, look, he could go to Bayern Munich in 3 years and win the Champions League and then win nothing else. Or just even a Bundesliga, anything. He could have
potential. There's potential for him to go to Bayern Munich because, as you said, Lewandowski has said that he wants a new challenge after his contract ends. So you never know. Lewandowski leaves, goes somewhere, and then Kane potentially.
I know who Mattia is.
Yeah, I know
him. Genuinely played before I was born. So like,
I mean, I've seen his great goals, but that's about it. To be honest,
like he was a one club man, wasn't he? Like he did.
Southampton.
Football was very different back then. I don't think Harry Kane is the same. I don't think you can put them together because Harry Kane wants to leave. Letizia didn't want to leave. Like football was way different back then.
And the guy who should leave the club is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He needs to leave.
Are you Ole out? Yes or no?
Yes.
I want you to say this is going to be clipped.
Yes, I'm Ole out. I'm Ole out because I'm seeing progress in the team. I'm not seeing progress in the performances. He's got us this far. He's got all the players he needs, but I'm seeing the same way we're playing is not. It's not good to watch. It's not. We're losing to Aston Villa 1-0 at home. It's not just that performance because I'm not just going to space it on one game. There's numerous games this season and last season which support my claim for Ole out. I'm not going to list all of them, but the performances themselves, everything is just he's beginning to lose the fans. That's what I can say about Ole, because the fans can see it, everyone can see it. When everyone can see it, why is nothing changing when everyone can see it? Are you Ole in or Ole out?
I'm not Ole out. Pretend it goes from a scale of 0, which is Ole out. I mean Ole in, to 100, which is Ole out. I'm sliding ever so slowly towards a big run. Yeah.
Wait.
I'm not Ole out.
Telling you how poor United play, and you two are like, yeah, Bruno can smash anything. Yes, because you can play poorly, but then it's individual moments.
And this is what we're getting onto. Look, I'm not Ole out purely because look how far he's taken us. Like I'm not just gonna look at the last 2 months.
No, but
or the last 3 months.
Before you get into your point, because now you're clouded. That's how I was. My head clouded as well. That's how I was.
Rain clouds.
I'm seeing all of this. I'm seeing all of this good stuff. Oh, we'll come second. Oh, we got to the final, but we lost in the final. Yeah. All this stuff. Oh, he's got us here. He's got us there.
Uncle Ron.
I'm seeing. I know you're clouded. You don't want to say it. It's like many United fans. It's like many ex-United players like Rio Ferdinand. They don't want to see it.
No. Look, if when I'm Ole out,
they're Ole out. You can't just say, "Oh, he's got us this far."
When I'll say it when I'm Ole out, I'm almost there. Look, I'll say it, I'm almost there, but we'll lose against Aston Villa and we'll play terribly. But then players have to take some of the blame as well. Like you look at it, goes both ways. It works hand in hand. On one hand, you have McFred, who in the game, forget about the tactics. Tactics don't mean your first touch is terrible, your pass is terrible, your movement is terrible, and you just don't have that. You don't have that brain. That's not tactics. The tactics are them being in the team, and that's the balancing act that needs to change. Because when you play against Man City and McFred are there, and they dominate the midfield, it's like, yeah, this is it. But then where Ole's in the wrong there, he's not in the wrong for picking them against Man City or a big team, and then they play massive and we win or whatever. But what he's wrong for thinking is he needs to pick them in every single game because they did well against Man City, who are going to dominate you on the ball, and you need that energy in the midfield. But then when we go and play against Aston Villa, you can't have them in the midfield. And that is where the repeat offenses from Ollie, by picking them in those games, are sliding me ever so slightly towards Ollie out. Because even I can see it. You can see it. Big Ron can see it. I know Pros Only TV can see it. I don't even know what team he supports, but I know he can see it. In that game against Aston Villa, you have to play Pogba in the middle with Matic or something. You have one actual CDM who can go across. I say it every show, Ibs. I'm getting annoyed now. One CDM that can go across and pass the ball, distribute, and then you have him next to Pogba. And then you can put the actual wingers on the pitch to give the supply to Ronaldo. Sancho isn't in the best of form, but you just pay 74 million for him, so you're gonna have to suck it up and watch and wait for him to get in form, because you can't find form on the bench. You have to play him, because you don't spend 74 million on a player that you were chasing for 2 years to watch him play bad 3 times and just bench him, not even bring him on. It doesn't work like that. You can't do that. Sancho is a quality player who produces stats year in, year out, and warranted a move to Manchester United. Look, when we signed him after 2 years, it was the best day of my life. It was the best day of a lot of people's lives, because we knew what player we were getting. Ollie's seen him and said, you've played bad 3 times. A few of the games you came on, can't really impact it because you didn't even touch the ball. And you don't play him when you need a goal, when you need someone to create a chance for Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't bring on Jadon Sancho. Foolish. It's dumb. And that's why, another reason why I'm sliding to Ollie out. But then what keeps me grounded and keeps me going up and then keep going back down to Ollie in is when we play against these big teams and when we play actual football. Because it's not every match we play hillbilly football. We actually can play football, which is what annoys me and what confuses me so much. Is it the players? Or is it Ollie? Because we'll play against Chelsea, or we'll play against City, or we'll play against a normal team, not just all the big teams, but sometimes we'll play against the low block and just kill them. And it's not just dumb passes. It's actually looks like we've had someone else injured. It looks like Sir Alex Ferguson's come back down for the week, done training or something. Because Ollie's even said himself, he doesn't actually do training. It's Phelan, Carrick and McKenna, now Eric Ramsey, I think Darren Fletcher as well. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not just the big teams that we put up massive performances against. We can do it against the small teams. We just don't do it enough, which is why I'm not Ollie out, because it just makes me think it has to be the players. We just must have very inconsistent players. Do you get what I'm saying?
I understand your point, but it's Ollie. Ollie picks the team.
Yeah.
Ollie decides the substitutes. Ollie, whatever the tactics is, it's his coaching staff that do the tactics, so it's on Ollie. It's Pros Ollie says it's the beginning. It's not the beginning. It's the middle of the end.
Yeah,
this is the middle. We're chapter 2 of 3 chapters of the. So the next chapter is getting sacked.
You know what? Look, the end of that. Perfect. I think it's spot on. The media outlets are starting to circle. Obviously, everyone knows the power of the media, and especially the sports media. Now you have Gary Neville criticizing Ollie publicly.
Perfect, because when you have people like that scrutinizing him, you said it. This is when he rises up, and performances he come out.
We're gonna win 10 in a row. I will put money. I don't gamble. I don't bet on football. I'll put money on it. We're gonna win 10 in a row. We're gonna go and slap Villarreal.
What happens, as you said, when he has his back against the wall?
Yeah, there's no better manager in the league. Look, if Manchester United were 1 win away from the Premier League title, and if we didn't win the match, Ollie would get sacked. We're gonna win that match by 5 or 6 goals. I guarantee it. Because when Ollie's backed into a corner, there is no manager in the league better than him. He's proven himself every single time. Every single time something gets leaked to the media. And when stuff gets leaked to the media, it's not just someone making up a story, because technically you're not actually allowed to do that. When something gets leaked to the media, it's someone from inside the club, because people speak, Ollie has to win the next 2 games, or he can't lose in the next 2 games. That's not a myth. That's fact. And then he will go and smoke 9 or 10 teams in a row. And then he's safe for the next 6 or 7 months. But now you have Gary Neville, Sam Luckhurst, and these guys are Oh, Gary Neville's not a journalist, but these other guys, they're top tier guys. These guys are starting to circle as pros only TV saying, which is why I genuinely think now Ollie's job is in jeopardy. Which is why I think he's not going to get sacked, because he's going to produce a masterclass. You're going to see the football that we play against Leipzig in the Champions League, that we play against PSG.
Villarreal.
Ollie's not a player. I mean, a manager that's going to use the same tactics every game. Some managers that are the best in the world, like Zidane, will do that. Luis Enrique did that when he had that Barcelona team in 15. Pep Guardiola does that every game, and they will get results. But other managers are able to adapt in terms of, we're playing against a different team, so we're going to play a little bit differently. That's what Ollie does. And he tinkers with the tactics a lot. He doesn't tinker with the team a lot, but we're going to do that. We're going to see that over the next month or so, next couple of months, and he's going to, again, prove everyone wrong and basically say to everyone, this is why I should be here. But then at the same time, because he doesn't play the same tactics every game, that is why people say he has no tactics. Because a lot of football fans, they jump on bandwagons, and a lot of football fans don't actually have that much common sense. Let's be honest, especially football fans on Twitter, they just abuse for fun. And because they don't see a consistent style of play every match, they just automatically assume there's no tactics. Of course he has tactics. It's just a mixture of quality that we should have but don't seem to have in Fred and McTominay, why they're getting picked, because of Ollie. It's a mixture of Ollie picking the players and rubbish players. And I keep saying McTominay and Fred.
Substitutions as well.
But then...
Why is Cavani coming on? As he said, Sancho probably should have come on. You're playing Cavani up front, Ronaldo on the wing. Stuff just don't make sense. It just... Why are you even in the position where we're losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa? With that team, that's our best lineup that we have at the moment. Ronaldo up front, Greenwood on the right, Pogba left, and as you said, McFred those are his centre mids. Why are we now losing to Aston Villa with that team? That means it's down to tactics, because that team should be smoking Aston Villa.
Yeah, they should. They really should. And look, obviously teams lose. Look, Man City lost
we
to
lose
Leeds.
games.
Everyone loses games.
Yeah.
So let's just get rid of that. But I thought we were gonna score. Look, we could have come out of that game with a draw. But we didn't. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. I have something to say about that as well. Not the penalty miss, but the reaction afterwards. But Ollie's not the only person to blame, which is the message really I'm trying to get across. But yeah, Karen.
You're also reading this comment. Yeah, the caliber of talent we have is crazy. Just at the same time, we're only how many games into the season? Brighton just scored, and they just scored 5th minute of injury time.
I'm like a 45 seconds behind.
I'm behind as well.
Thanks, Ron.
The disconnect is getting these individuals to play as a team. Coaching.
We have too many players in. I think we're moving like Manchester City in terms of we have too many attackers. Rashford isn't even back yet. He should be on the bench next week, I think. That was reported. But you have up front, and like including the wingers as well, you have Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, Mata, Fernandes, Cavani, Ronaldo. If there's anyone else I've missed, let me know. But I've counted 7 players there for 3 positions. Ronaldo's not getting dropped, so it's 6 players for 2 positions.
Mm.
You know, when it was Mope, I took him out of fantasy. I just don't think. Oh man, I just don't think it's all Ollie. Players obviously have to take the blame, but the next comment there from Pros Only.
Yeah, the fixture list: Villarreal Wednesday, Everton, Leicester, Atalanta, Liverpool, Spurs.
You say he's going to come... Pros Only said he's going to come out unscathed. I fully expect him, and I don't hope. I expect Ollie and Manchester United to go out and win Out of those next 10 games, 8 or 9 probably won't lose.
Next 10. In our next 10, we're playing Villarreal, Everton, Leicester, Atalanta, Liverpool,
Win.
Spurs, Atalanta
Probably
again,
draw against Liverpool.
City.
We'll beat City.
Watford,
We always beat
and
City.
Villarreal again.
The game that we might lose, the only game that we might lose is Liverpool. But is that at Anfield or Old Trafford?
That's at Old Trafford.
Probably lose that. If it was at Anfield, I'd say we win or draw. But Manchester City, home or away, when was the last time we lost properly to Manchester City?
Probably in the Carabao Cup.
It wasn't a Carabao Cup, wasn't it? Was that 2 seasons ago? But we handled Man City. We, for whatever reason, Pep cannot beat Oli. He has a mental edge over Pep Guardiola, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So over those next 10 games, we'll beat Leicester. We'll do the double over Villarreal because grudge matches, if you want to call it that, or Oli knows he has to prove a point now.
Yeah.
We will batter them. However good they're playing. We've come up against Man City, the best team ever in the history of the football gods, and beat them 2-0 a few times. Rashford's back as well. Think about this. Tottenham are dead. Liverpool, as I said, are the only team, if we're going to lose in that time, is the only team that will beat us. All of the other games, confident we're going to win. And that's the problem, but not a problem.
Ollie's not going anywhere. Get used to him. Yeah, he's probably not going anywhere. He's a top coach.
Yeah, I saw that comment earlier, actually. Sir Alex Ferguson, I watched a lot of the United stand, and obviously the person who presents it is Mark Goldbridge. He's much older than me, and he would have lived through a lot of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And I saw him change from Queiroz, who he sacked and then rehired. I wasn't alive when McLaren was there, but I know he was there. He had Mike Phelan, and I know there was someone else. He chopped and changed because he was able to adapt and he was able to change with the times. When he thought the other teams were catching up with him, what did he need to do? He thought, this summer, I need to get this in. My coaching staff, they're good, but the other teams are catching up. So there obviously is some change that needs to happen. And he would do it. With Ollie now, he's got Michael Carrick, who has very little experience. Mike Phelan, who was experienced enough to be Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant, but not good enough to be an actual first-team manager. You have Eric Ramsey, yes. Kieran McKennie, yes, two of them, I think, are very, very good at their job. They were both like very, very highly sought after. But Michael Carrick's not going to leave. Solskjaer's not going to get rid of Carrick. Solskjaer's not going to get rid of Darren Fletcher. He's not going to get rid of Mike Phelan. If you have to get people in that are proven in their job roles. You have two people there who are proven in their job roles, Kieran McKenna and Eric Ramsey. The rest of them is friends. It's just friends. And that's the problem. Because as I said, it's not just Ollie, which is why I'm not Ollie out. I'll say it now. Look, I'm not Ollie out. I'm not
Anton
Ollie out.
Is not Ollie out.
I'm not Ollie out.
Anton is not Ollie out.
But
he loves Ollie. He loves Ollie.
I don't love Ollie.
He has a scarf in his bedroom that says "To All Legend."
But look, I don't, obviously, and I know you're going to say the same as me. Every Manchester United fan said the same. I don't want to see Ollie fail. Watching Ollie fail is watching Manchester United fail. I don't want Ollie to fail. If anything, I want him to succeed because he's my manager. He's a manager of Manchester United, the team I support. So I want him to succeed, and success for him would be winning the Champions League or winning the Prem. If anyone says to me they want to see Ollie lose games so he gets sacked, you can't tell me you're a proper United fan. Watching Ollie lose games is going to be watching Manchester United lose games. We're going to put ourselves in a position which we haven't been in for the past few years. If we're
top of the table by Christmas, I might become Ollie in.
But the thing is, like, we probably will be. That's the problem. That's the problem, Ibs. I'm so torn inside my own head that we probably will be top by Christmas, like we were last season or whatever it was, because the next 10 games and because he's under pressure now, because of the top tier journalists talking about him, because of Gary Neville coming out and talking about him in his podcast, which is actually quite big. Podcasts and all of these little shows now, really, really big. They have an impact on what happens in football now, especially one that gets put on Sky Sports, by the way. When this is happening, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to batter teams. He's going to destroy teams. He's going to pat Klopp on the head. He's going to pat
It's 5-0
Pep
against
Guardiola.
Villarreal on Wednesday.
Look, we beat Leipzig 5-0 and then we got comfortable when we
Yeah,
lost.
it will
The same
be
with PSG.
5-0. Ronaldo is going to get a hat trick on Wednesday.
Yep.
And Greenwood will get one, and Bruno will get one.
Yep.
That's how it will be.
Yep, and it won't be a surprise. And we're gonna be top by Christmas or second, 1 point off the top, whatever. And then it's gonna get tricky again. And it's gonna be another year, hopefully not, of the same. But you can't get rid of a manager when you're in the knockout stages of the Champions League, when you're second or first in the league. You can't get rid of a manager then, can you?
Yeah, it's saying that when Mourinho was at Chelsea, he had the best coaches around. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Wednesday, Villarreal, Saturday, Everton, both home games. Last week was a week to forget for Ollie. Lost to West Ham at home, lost to Aston Villa at home. Thank you, Big Ron, for tuning in. We'll see you after this week's games. And this is Prem Talk. We have fantasy. Always end on
I'm not looking at my fantasy team this week. I'm not looking.
Let's see.
I haven't looked. Look, Big Ron, man. I can't. The amount of times I've watched Manchester United and just thought to myself, why did I pick this team? But then thought, I know why I picked this team because I love this team.
Under Ollie, I have more heartbreak than joy.
Oh man, that's what other man? Look, here's a question for you. You're Ollie out, yeah, 100%. You're the owner of the club. Yes. Who are you bringing in? Who are you bringing in tomorrow? And don't say Pep or something dumb like that. What manager? Who are you going to bring in?
To be honest, in terms of managers, I don't really know.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't be Ollie out.
That's the side of football I'm not really sure about. I'm not adversed in managers, so I'm not too sure.
Like, there's two managers that I'd bring in if Ollie was to leave tomorrow. The Atalanta manager, don't know his name, but the Atalanta manager, or Erik ten Hag from Ajax. Those are the two managers I'd bring in. If I had to bring in a third, it would be Zidane, but I'm not. You know. But Erik ten Hag and the Atalanta manager are the two managers that I would take at Manchester United if Ollie was to leave. But he's not going to leave, so never mind.
Yeah, I might be Ollie out, but I want Ollie to do well. I'm Ollie out because of what I've seen. What I've seen is not the way I want us to play. Look, many fans want us to play. We might have finished second. It's progression. That's the great thing. We're seeing progress. Obviously, as fans, we want everything now. I'm one of those fans. I want everything now. I look at our team. I want this and that because our team should be getting that, this and that. But obviously, it's a process. I'm still Ollie out, but it's a process.
Look, Gasperini at Atalanta, I think would be not perfect for United, but in terms of, I wouldn't take Blanc. I wouldn't take Blanc. Gasperini at Atalanta score goals, man. They score a lot of goals, but they concede a lot. I don't care about conceding goals as long as we outscore. It's what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson. If you score 5, if you concede 5, just score 6. If we concede 100 in the Premier League, we have to score 200. You know what I mean? Conceding goals doesn't matter to me as long as we win. And that's why I would take. I blame Dan James for United's poor form. Oh wait, funny.
Dan James. I was watching Match of the Day and I saw Dan James on the wing for Leeds, and he just didn't know what to do when he got in that position. He doesn't. I'm happy he's gone. Sancho is here.
But also at Man United would be mental. It'd be mental, but I wouldn't be able to handle it.
I couldn't watch that. I don't like the way he plays.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't like that.
It wouldn't be enjoyable. Even if you win 5-0, it just wouldn't be enjoyable because the next game you could just lose 5-0. Even under Ollie, I don't think we're going to lose games.
Yeah, but defensively we're good.
Yeah.
But defensively we're good. It's just about what we do in the attacking areas, which is not the best, even though we have the best attacking front four.
That's why I want Ten Hag or Gasperini, because they don't have stars. Imagine what Gasperini could do at Manchester United with Ronaldo, Fernandes, Rashford, Sancho, Greenwood, or Ten Hag. compared to
crazy.
you have Ilicic. Don't even have Papu Gomez anymore. They have Zapat. Look, these guys are operating with, I'm going to say, average footballers. And if you put them with elite, top of the top footballers, yeah, I know we've lost 3 of our last 4, but when I go into a game, I don't think we're going to lose. Like a few years ago, under Mourinho, or when Oli was going through that really bad patch after the PSG, after Rashford penalty against PSG, we went on like a terrible run. I'd go into games and think, how much are we going to just lose? Like I just thought we'd lose, but now I don't think we're going to lose. It just upsets me when we lose.
I'm
It
always
just upsets
excited
me
to
even
watch
more.
every game because
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to lose with our team. But then when we do lose with our team, that's when I'm like, oh, why?
yeah.
Why?
That's why it hurts more, because you don't expect us to lose, and when we do lose, it's like, it's just you could prepare yourself before, like you distance yourself emotionally from Manchester United a little bit when Mourinho was here and when Oli was going through that really rough patch. But now, because I'm so close and I'm so invested, because I think we're going to win every game, when we lose, it's like a big kick in the teeth from a big horse. Like it hurts, but yeah, I'd want Ten Hag. He'd be my first choice.
So yeah, Wednesday home to Villarreal. Redemption. We need redemption from the Europa League final. I'm guessing David De Gea should start. Let's just read this comment.
Yeah, he doesn't speak English, does he? Well, you never know. He might learn quick. He might be a quick learner.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say my team for Wednesday: David De Gea, obviously Wan-Bissaka suspended, so Dalot, Varane, Maguire. I think Shaw's injured.
Maguire is also injured, I believe. I didn't watch the press
Maguire's
conference.
not good. Maguire will play because that's just how Maguire is.
Yeah,
Think about it. He's not. He's gonna play.
Tellez
Shaw,
is back.
yeah, Tellez probably play left back then. I think Fred. I don't even know.
Matic and Pogba, man.
Matic.
I'd put Matic and Pogba.
Yeah, Matic, Pogba, and then Sancho. I just want to see Sancho on the right.
No, Sancho's not playing. I'll tell you now, Sancho's not playing.
So he's on the left?
No, he's not playing.
Who's on the left?
I don't care. Sancho's just not playing. I can't see him playing.
So you're playing Greenwood, Ronaldo, Cavani. Lingard's not playing in the Champions League, in the first Champions League game.
Look, you just don't know, innit? You just don't know. Sancho got dragged off. Van der Beek,
Sancho didn't play last game.
No, I'm talking about the last Champions League game against Young Boys.
Okay.
We haven't even mentioned Van der Beek's name. Fernandes, we haven't even said. We don't even need to say Fernandes' name, to be honest.
Thank you, Big Ron. We'll catch you next time.
We love the support, man. We love the support. We'll remember you in 2 months when we have 1 million subs. We will remember you. We love the support, and I know we both greatly appreciate you tuning into every show and contributing and helping us, giving us more topics to talk about and giving us, something to respond to.
Sancho is going to start. Sancho has to start. He really should start. Sancho, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Bruno, and you're saying Matic and Pogba. That should be enough to play Villarreal at home. That should really be enough. But we know Ollie's going to play McFred, Pogba left wing, basically the same team.
Yeah.
Apart from Tellez and Dalot, as we played on Saturday. And it'll probably be the same team that will play on Saturday against Everton. But yeah, on to the fantasy. As you can see, Anton is below me.
Shut up, man. I'm not even looking. I'm deciding not to look.
Okay, 301 points. You only got 25 points this game week.
Hey.
Hey. This is your team. Wow.
It's not even. Why is Williams on?
Why do you have Brandon Williams?
I didn't start Williams. Hold on. He's my bench player.
Why do you even have him in your team?
He's on the bench because he's the cheapest. And he plays every
Arnold
game.
on the bench.
No, I didn't.
But yeah, my team was not really that much better, to be honest.
That Fernandez 0, knowing he actually played.
Thanks for tuning in, Pros Only TV. And
that's pain. That's pain, man. That's painful.
Yeah, I should have made Salah captain. Alex is still top of our league.
This guy's always doing well in the fantasies.
Don't know how he's getting 41 points. Look, 42 points.
How does that add up? Doesn't even look like it. Oh, Rafinha's got 8. I thought that said 0. Yeah, man. I'll be back in it. I'll be back.
But yeah, I think we'll be back.
I need to take out my anger in the gym.
Yeah, we'll be back at the end of this week. Hopefully 2 wins at the end of this week for Man U. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.